Welcome to the Armored Deck podcast. My name is Lilas, and I am the D&D sponsor for our middle school. And this is the podcast for our DMs to get together, talk about some of the issues that they have, or just some fun topics all together. And today I am joined by
Loon,
Robin,
Stumbleduck,
Cowtoe, and Linguist.
All right, today, prior to getting started with the podcast, we sat around and had some pre-game conversations. And I think there's a very serious conversation that we would like to have today that may be very controversial and may cause some wars out there to happen between DMs and players. And that very controversial subject is the dice goblin. And I am a dice goblin myself. For my characters, I always I think about their personality and I go and I purchase dice that match the personality of my character. Like my rogue dice are red and black and metal and, like look lethal. And then I have a cleric who was a halfling and she was very sparkly. So all of her dice were pink and blue and had sparkle glitter in them and were super cute. And so I think we all, as dice goblins, have, different ideas about how we're going to manage our dice. So, Robin, I know that you are a dice goblin of the highest order.
Never.
So would you tell us about how you go about collecting dice?
I wouldn't say I collect dice as I go bankrupt on dice.
Okay.
I ask my grandparents and parents every year for Christmas, my birthday, sometimes Easter, because that's fun for dice. And I've probably spent close to $600, $700 by now.
Oh my gosh.
I had a set of dice for every character I play.
Okay.
Right now I'm in the middle of making a character with a set of small green dice. And this character is if I remember correctly, a tiefling rogue. I have a small set of green dice because they're a green tiefling. And I probably have a couple other tens of hundreds of sets that I use for other characters because I tend to make a lot of characters.
So when you're you have all these different colors of dice. Like I have to have several sets of dice for each character because I don't know how my dice are going to roll. And if my dice aren't rolling and behaving themselves, they have to get put away and I have to pull out my reserves. Like I have my primaries that I like because they're the right color, they're the right, sparkle or whatever, or the right texture, like metal, And so how do you manage, how many sets of dice do you play with at once?
Usually I just play with one, but say one of my metal sets are deciding to roll ones on me, I tend to change to a different set, but it ends up changing my accent for the character slightly because I see the dice and I just feel like playing another character all of a sudden. And so my characters tend to play slightly differently with different dice.
Okay. Lincolus, I know you're a dice goblin as well. I think you picked up all the dice that were left over last year at the end of the year and took them with you. So let's hear how you collect your dice.
Well, I usually just collect the ones that look most appealing for like the right price, but sometimes I do go over budget. I think this year I've spent like about $300 on it.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah, it's a lot. But yeah, I spend a lot of time collecting dice. Yeah, I have a whole section just of dice.
Okay. Do you have particular colors that go with certain characters that you're playing?
Yeah, so let's say my character is a drow, which it usually is. I usually have like a black and red dice. It also depends on the class, but and the personality. Mainly the personality. But yeah, if it's like silent and all that, then I usually have like a whitish dice. If it's like super like angry, then like a red.
Okay. Yeah, I get that. Like my rogue was black and red because, she's a rogue. So, she's going to be slicing and dicing. So the red there is indicative of her job. And then my cleric her dice were more about the personality of my cleric herself more than the spells that she would be casting. And then I played Yonti Paladin, which was super interesting. And hers were green because she shot poison from her palms. And so, like, she obviously had to have green dice for, green poison. So, what about you, Stumbleduck? Are you a dice goblin? I don't know if you are or not.
No, not really. I just have whatever pair I remember to bring.
Oh my gosh. Are you my internal dice goblin is cringing and writhing in pain when you say that. So do you use just one set of dice when you play? Like just like a cycle?
If it once. Like it's just dice. But that's all. I just use one or two, and if somebody in my campaign needs a set of dice, I give them one of my two. So
you let other people put their mojo on your dice?
I am not gonna ask what that means.
Like you dice goblin, I think. I can't speak for everyone, but I don't let people touch my dice because I don't want their mojo, their juju, their karma. If
Use something else, please.
I don't want their luck on my dice. I want my dice to have my luck, my personality. End of story. Like I don't want other people's touching my dice.
I'm not superstitious, so
Their luck usually makes mine better, honestly.
They're like, okay, I can see that. Kato, how about you? How many sets of dice do you have?
I have one, and it is a dirt brown color. It's the only one that came in the box, so it's the only one I use. Like Hamlin and Stumbleduck, I don't think different types of dice give you a better roll. So it's kind of a 3-on-3 type thing.
I mean, I would get scientific with that, but I feel like I shouldn't.
It's just probability doesn't line up. It's just. Plus, I love my dirt brown one. I would never give away my dirt brown one. So I mean, that kind of makes me a dice goblin in a way.
It's relatable.
Oh,
because I won't let anybody touch my dirt brown one.
Oh,
but I only have one dirt brown one.
Right. But you play these dirt brown looking dice with all of your different characters. Okay.
And makes sense.
I don't feel like that contributes to anything about my character, but hey, we have different opinions.
I like that some of us kind of believe in like mojo or karma of the dice. I know what from watching Critical Role, Laura Bailey goes in and she'll, like they've talked about it on the show before, where she goes in a half an hour earlier than everybody else so she can sit down. She has a giant bag of dice and she'll pull out the ones that she wants to use and then she'll roll them to see how they're rolling. And if they don't roll well, she puts them away and she gets out new dice.
I mean, I'm superstitious and all, but
It sounds like
I can't say the amount of times I've done that.
Yeah, so Kauto and Stumbleduck I'll just use whatever dice. I don't even care. They're just dice. The probability is probability. And then myself, Robin, and Lincolus are like, no, there's definitely mojo to our dice. Yeah, I believe in the mojo. I think it's there.
Yeah.
Because I know there are some nights where I'm rolling really well, and there are other nights where it's like chaotic and I'm rolling well, and then I start not rolling well, and then the dice will turn and roll well again. Like it's weird. Or sometimes I'm rolling really poorly and I have to put those dice away and I have to roll new dice.
I feel like sometimes it depends on how my character is acting with their god that day, if they support one. If they don't, I always roll bad for some reason.
Oh,
I feel like I always just grab bad dice whenever I'm doing that kind of a character. Just like normal rogue doesn't follow any god, but whenever I'm playing, say, a cleric, if I'm doing a lot of spells and things, my dice tend to roll well. If I'm being more charismatic, for some reason, I roll nat ones all over the place.
Okay, interesting. Do you have any of you have anything that you'd like to add to that, or any comments that you... Go ahead. Let's hear it. I love it because you're not going to be the only one out there. There are going to be people out there who are saying, Lilas, Robin, Lincolus, you guys are nuts. Yeah, we're weirdos. And that's so incorrect. And then there are other people who are going to be like, that Hamlin and Stumbleduck and Kauto are on crack. They're like, Dice definitely.
So
I think it's
leaning
yeah.
in.
I love that. Yeah, I love that it's 3-on-3. I think that
So let comments decide.
yeah, we'll let comments decide. Yeah, definitely leave comments and
Comment your opinion.
yeah, comment whether or not you think dice make a difference in your game, like different sets of dice.
Don't
they do.
comment your opinion unless it's the right opinion.
Right. I like that. That's
Not to
funny.
say what the opinion is, but you know.
Okay.
Make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment on any of your opinions on our topics that we talked about this video or this podcast, and we'll see you next time. Make sure to check out our merch. It is linked in our profile. See you next
Please
time.
buy the